Jordan has Sharon just where she wants her, and Nick reacts when he sees Ian with Mariah and Tessa. Danny explains to Christine, Lauren, and Michael how love got him through the storm to the Neil Winters Jazz Lounge. He claims that nothing could prevent him from spending the new year with the person he loves the most. Cricket feels so wonderful to be back in his arms. They sing and dance. She is aware of his unwavering determination to return for his son as well. She said it meant everything to him to see Danny. For Danny, holding his son was everything. It pains his heart to see how distraught he is. His strength and wisdom are exactly what his son needs right now, so she's just glad he's there. He tells her that he has rearranged his schedule so that he will be staying as he spins her around the floor. They can stay in the suite she has upstairs. Even though it has only been a few days, he still misses her. After they have a table, Danny asks Cricket whether she is prepared to travel with him once more. She claims to be all his once more. They are interrupted by Daniel, who acknowledges that he returned in the hopes of running into them and catching up. Daniel sits down with his father as she leaves for her suite. Danny regrets not showing up sooner. He was busy being a rock star, as his son is aware. For Danny, being a good father is all that matters. His son acknowledges that he is struggling. He woke up to find Heather's side of the bed deserted after arguing with her a year ago over whether Die Hard is a Christmas film. One worries about Lucy's coping mechanisms every day. Incredibly, Phyllis has supported him and kept his daughter safe during this entire ordeal. However, his mother is likewise upset and anxious to make things right. Particularly in this nightmare with Sharon, he feels compelled to shield her from her own inclinations. Danny wishes he could do something about it. He is aware of how many people he lives with. It's too much, Daniel acknowledges. He doesn't want to spend another 364 days apart from Heather. He should not undervalue his bravery and strength, his father advises him. All he has to do is endure his sorrow and keep in mind that there are people who care about him. He will support him even if he has to take a break during a performance, so he should call him the next time he feels like he's going to blow up. His priorities will always be him and Lucy. Danny gives his son a hug and expresses his affection for him. As Danny explains that Lucy is familiar with all of his songs and dance moves, Christine joins the father and son. His son expresses gratitude to him for reassuring her that happiness is okay and that life continues on. If Danny believes she should go, they could do it sooner rather than later. When the time is right, he agrees to go along when they ask him to. They arrange to spend time with Lucy and teach her how to make Danny's renowned pasta sauce. Diane and Jack raise a toast at the table to bid 2024 farewell. They nearly fell to their knees that year. She hopes the new year will be a fresh start for them and their son, even though she realizes they still have a lot of work to do. One of the vouchers she got him for their anniversary was for a night of dancing, she reminds him as they dance. When they arrive home, she whispers, "What else can he redeem?" Michael licks Lauren's neck while they dance. She tells him how delighted she is and threatens him with a fantastic time. Considering what Phyllis is going through, she feels bad about that. She despises him at the moment, he reminds her. Lauren believes that seeing Danny with Christine still hurts her. When Phyllis suggests their friendship won't last while he is Sharon's lawyer, the lawyer fears she means it. His wife is certain that she will forgive him in due time. They have pardoned her for a number of really serious offenses. "I swear, before the next century," she declares. In order to concentrate on his lovely wife, he would prefer to forget about their pal. Jack and Diane interrupt. Michael cautions him not to let his demonic charm win Lauren away when he invites her to dance. Diane informs the lawyer that they still need to talk about some unresolved matters. He believes she is discussing how, as if he were a mere jerk, she had lied to him about her marriage disintegrating. After he covered the cost of her funeral, he believed they had earned back his confidence. Diane claims there was a valid explanation for everything. She hopes he will pardon her and is prepared to tell him everything. He acknowledges that her story was obviously motivated by love for her kid when she tells it. He is married to a lovely mother and had a very narcissistic one, so he understands what mother's love is like. He claims she is destined to be his companion for eternity because of the amount of danger she took. They give each other hugs. Diane and Michael converse at the YNR bar. She observes Jack's happiness as they dance. He's taking advantage of the moment. She acknowledges that, particularly in light of their public arguments, she still has doubts about Diane. Living out the deception and enlisting his friends and family was so out of character for him. It is inhumane. He hears her. Resolutions are discussed. She enjoys all of her bad habits and is unwilling to give them up. After having a few, Jack advises her to decide to give Diane a little more. She believes that her civility is already commendable. Jack is aware of her capacity for generosity. Lauren is not rushing to become Diane's friend. She has already angered Phyllis enough. According to Jack, his wife is a decent person. She should be given another chance, and perhaps if she treats Diane with kindness, others will do the same. Lauren and Nick dancing in the YNR lounge. Lauren and Jack go back to their husbands. He learns that Diane and Michael had a successful meeting. She claims that toasting was the ideal way to begin the new year. Tonight has been fine, Michael replies with a laugh. Lauren makes a special effort to compliment Diane on the significance of her necklace. Jack recommends that they all do this once more in the future. Why not? Lauren asks while sipping her drink. Michael gets prepared to go to bed at home. Diane is grateful that he pardoned her. He asks, what are friends for? Michael, Diane, Nick, and Lauren converse in the YNR lounge. Mariah is startled to see Ian carrying Tessa outside of society. She demands to know what he did and yells at him to leave her. As Mariah helps her wife breathe, Ian says he was only attempting to assist. Tessa, who is wheezing, claims that she thought she was going to die. Mariah demands to know what Ian did once again when she helps her up. Before he can explain, Nick appears. Tessa replies whatever it was is past when he offers to take her to the hospital. Ian is standing there, and Faith tells her father. Nick gets angry. He didn't harm her, Tessa clarifies. Nick identifies himself as Ian Ward. Insisting that he has undergone repentance, the cleric traveled to the city to serve as a prison chaplain. He arrived peacefully. If that's the case, Nick questions why he needs an identity. Ian attempts to let them enjoy their evening and explains that people can be critical. Nick corners him before he can say anything and instructs him to start praying seriously. Faith is told to phone the police by him. Ian remarks that Faith hails from a tribe of strong women as she stomps inside. He explains that he cleansed Tessa's airways when he noticed she was experiencing an asthma attack. Mariah walks her wife inside while growling at him to keep away. Tessa YNR is checked on by Mariah. Ian shares with Nick his story of self-redemption. Since he is purely evil, Nick believes that is impossible. Nick grabs Ian's arm as he reaches into his jacket and tells him not to try anything. Ian asks Nick to phone the prison to certify that he is a chaplain after he shows him his formal ordination after he relaxes his hand. For Nick, none of this matters. Faith announces the arrival of the police. Nick tells her to go back inside. Ian remarks, she is turning into quite the young lady. Nick becomes upset at that. He threatens him and snatches him by the collar once more. Ian is still adamant that he returned solely to put things right. He was reminded by Nick that he had shot his father, tormented his mother, and set fire to Newman Tower while dozens of others were inside. Ian will try to make up for all of that, even if he doesn't expect to. He cannot force Nick to forget these things. Nick instructs her to arrest this man when a police officer shows up. He claims that Ian's claims to be a chaplain are false and that he ought to be imprisoned. Ward asks the officer to verify his credentials. The Newman wants him jailed because he believes he poses a threat to everyone in the community. According to Ian, he poses no threat to anyone and might have even saved a life. Michael licks Lauren's neck while they dance. She tells him how delighted she is and threatens him with a fantastic time. Considering what Phyllis is going through, she feels bad about that. She despises him at the moment, he reminds her. Lauren believes that seeing Danny with Christine still hurts her. When Phyllis suggests their friendship won't last while he is Sharon's lawyer, the lawyer fears she means it. His wife is certain that she will forgive him in due time. They have pardoned her for a number of really serious offenses. I swear, before the next century, she declares. In order to concentrate on his lovely wife, he would prefer to forget about their pal. Jack and Diane interrupt. Michael cautions him not to let his demonic charm win Lauren away when he invites her to dance. Diane informs the lawyer that they still need to talk about some unresolved matters. He believes she is discussing how, as if he were a mere jerk, she had lied to him about her marriage disintegrating. After he covered the cost of her funeral, he believed they had earned back his confidence. Diane claims there was a valid explanation for everything. She hopes he will pardon her and is prepared to tell him everything. He acknowledges that her story was obviously motivated by love for her kid when she tells it. He is married to a lovely mother and had a very narcissistic one, so he understands what mother's love is like. He claims she is destined to be his companion for eternity because of the amount of danger she took. Mariah wishes Tessa would see a doctor inside society. She is feeling better and drinking water. However, how could she have failed to identify Ian? She has nothing to apologize for, her wife tells her. She handed him a photo of their kid, Tessa notes. Whatever rock he came from, Mariah is certain he will crawl back under it. She acknowledges that she finds it difficult to simply look at him. He is a bad guy who ruined her whole childhood. When Faith stops over to see how they are doing, Mariah fears that whatever her wife had won't go away on its own. They must discover what it is. When this drama with the horrible man is done, Tessa will visit a doctor. Mariah goes on to describe him as the devil himself. He corrupts you by sucking you in. She remembers being in a wedding dress when she woke up to him. How he was released from prison is beyond her comprehension. The reason he returned to Genoa City is what truly frightens her. The girls observe that Sharon has not arrived and that it is beyond midnight. Nick Newman's life has always been fraught with complexities, but when he came face to face with Ian Ward in an unexpected setting, the emotional stakes skyrocketed. The encounter between Ian, Mariah Copeland, and Tessa Porter left Nick reeling and raised questions about Ian's true motives. The scene unfolded in dramatic fashion at Crimson Lights, the iconic coffee house that has been a backdrop for countless pivotal moments in Genoa City. Mariah and Tessa, basking in their newfound stability as a married couple, were enjoying a quiet moment together. Ian's sudden appearance shattered the peace. Dressed in his usual composed yet unsettling demeanor, Ian approached them with an air of feigned familiarity. Nick entered the coffee house just in time to witness Ian's interaction with Mariah and Tessa. His immediate reaction was one of protective fury. Memories of Ian's past manipulations and the chaos he'd caused flooded Nick's mind. He stormed over, placing himself between Ian and the two women. "What the hell are you doing here?" Nick demanded, his voice steady but laced with venom. Ian, ever the master manipulator, offered a calm smile. I was just catching up with Mariah. It's been far too long since we last spoke. Mariah's face was a mix of discomfort and defiance. Her history with Ian was a dark chapter she had worked tirelessly to move past. Tessa, ever the supportive partner, reached for Mariah's hand, her silent show of solidarity speaking volumes. Nick's protective instincts were on high alert. He turned to Mariah and Tessa. "Are you two okay?" he asked, his tone softening. Mariah nodded but didn't take her eyes off Ian. "We're fine, Nick. He just showed up out of nowhere." Ian's smirk deepened. "I'm not here to cause trouble, Nick. I've turned over a new leaf." The skepticism in Nick's glare was palpable. "You've got some nerve showing your face here. Leave now before I call the police." As tensions escalated, Ian's true intentions remained unclear. Was he genuinely trying to make amends, or was this another calculated move in his never-ending quest for control? The encounter left everyone on edge, particularly Mariah, who couldn't shake the feeling that Ian's reappearance signaled trouble on the horizon. Meanwhile, Sharon Rosales found herself entangled in a separate but equally perilous situation. Jordan, a young woman who had once been a trusted confidant of Faith Newman, had resurfaced in Genoa City. However, Jordan's return was far from innocent. She harbored a grudge against Sharon and had been subtly manipulating events to gain the upper hand. Jordan's schemes began to unfold at society, where Sharon had arranged a meeting with her to clear the air. Sharon, ever the peacemaker, hoped to resolve any lingering issues and move forward. But Jordan had other plans. She used the opportunity to subtly undermine Sharon, bringing up past mistakes and casting doubt on her integrity. "You've always had a way of twisting things to suit your narrative, haven't you, Sharon?" Jordan's words were laced with malice, yet her tone remained deceptively sweet. Sharon, taken aback, struggled to maintain her composure. "I don't know what you're trying to accomplish, but I'm not going to let you manipulate me," Sharon said firmly. Despite Sharon's resolve, Jordan's tactics began to chip away at her confidence. The young woman's ability to exploit vulnerabilities was unnerving. It became clear that Jordan's vendetta was personal, though her ultimate goal remained shrouded in mystery. As the two storylines intertwined, the stakes grew higher for everyone involved. Nick's confrontation with Ian raised questions about the latter's endgame. Could Ian's presence jeopardize Mariah and Tessa's happiness? And would Sharon be able to outmaneuver Jordan's cunning manipulations? Loyalty and love that bound the residents of Genoa City together. In true The Young and the Restless fashion, the twists and turns would keep fans on the edge of their seats, eagerly anticipating what would happen next.